Some of us are outwardly successful, but inwardly feel unhappy and living a life lacking in purpose and meaning. The Necktie and the Jaguar by Carl Greer can help you discover what's important to you and how to go for it. For more information or to purchase the book, visit carlgreer.com. That's CARLGREER.com.
Consistently attract soulmate clients. Begin showing up on brand, monetizing on your calling. Welcome all spiritual coaches, leaders, healers, light workers, and practitioners to a show that turns you on in your business and amplifies your magnetism. I'm host, catalyst, and spiritual business coach Rosalyn Fung, and I'm here to journey with you into the juicy and help you discover where the real gaps are. Ignite your mindset and soul with strategies and systems as each episode takes you to the sweet spot that activates your soulgasmic business. Enjoy this light language activation as we begin to magnetize and monetize. Hello, my loves. Welcome to another episode. Today, I'm so excited to speak to my special guest on how to get massively visible with your voice, your vibes, and vision. Do you get lit up when you feel into lioness energy? I'm assuming you do if you're tuned in here. Are you ready to become your next level revolutionary leader? And what are the steps to build your visibility? Before we go there, if you feel like you're receiving tons of value from this episode, it would mean a lot to me if you could screenshot this and shout it out on social media. Please tag me at Bold Sexy Warrior on Instagram, and on Facebook, it's Rosalyn Fung Coaching Bold Sexy Warrior. And also, let me ask you, if you're a healer, lightworker, practitioner, someone who is in the transformational world and you're desiring to raise your client results so that you can raise your rates with integrity, ditch imposter syndrome, ditch client results anxiety, and be trusted in your market and niche by enhancing your skill set and learning the tools to get these clients even more epic results. I'd love for you to join me in my Flourishing Life Coaching certification, where you will learn the 10 core competencies that are based on evidence in psychology, neuroscience, sociology, leadership coaching, and business in strength-based resiliency. Check out the show notes to get the free Flourishing Framework, which is a mini video course, to see if this feels aligned with you. And if it does, we will hop on a chat, a call to have you register. All right, my loves. Let's welcome my very special guest today, someone who has similar CEO lioness vibes as me, Juliana Frisoli, who is a success coach, business consultant, and founder of the Roar Method. Let me tell you, I don't actually remember how I came across Juliana, but I do know it's social media, so likely on Instagram. And I was just like, I feel like I'm looking in a mirror. Her vibes are so similar to me. I would just start tuning in, join her email list, and I'm like, I love this lady. And I just love that she's so raw and so real and transparent. And those of you who follow me on social media, you know that I'm absolutely in that same energy. So I reached out to Juliana and I was like, hey, we need to get to know each other. I'd love to have you on my podcast. So Juliana helps her clients become well-known and well-paid revolutionary leaders by using the power of their unique voice, vibe, and vision to build a brand and business that stands out. Juliana's work combines subconscious reprogramming, energetic coding, attraction marketing, and sales psychology. Can you see why I love this woman already? So I'd love to welcome Juliana. Hi, love.
Hi.
So glad that you are here. I'm excited about our conversation today. And, I always love to start off with having my guests share how they got to become who they are today and do what they're doing.
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh. I feel like anytime someone asks me about my story, I'm like, where do I start? Because there's just like,
Right? It's a journey. It absolutely is.
yeah, there's like so much. But honestly, like a little bit about my background that is very relevant to who I am today. I grew up as an only child with a single mom on a substitute teacher's salary in a very wealthy part of California. So even though I was living basically among the rich and famous is what I like to say. I was living in like a suburb of Malibu where everyone was very wealthy and had like the best cars and the best clothes. And then there was like me and my mom, and we had very little money. I grew up basically on the line of poverty and like was constantly bullied by the kids that I went to school with for being different, for being the weird girl, the poor girl. And so very early on, I felt like I never fit in and I felt like I was never good enough. And that had a lot to do with how I felt throughout my childhood and my early adult life. And then I just reached this point in my life where I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And in 2015, that was when I really had this big, like, I guess I can call it kind of a spiritual awakening. It was super weird how I like was led to it, but now looking back on it, I know it was totally like the universe aligning for me. I don't know if you remember the app Periscope at all when that was like a
Yes.
thing. Okay.
I've never been on it though.
Yeah, I mean, I was like not brave enough to broadcast at the time, but like in 2015, I was in college. I think I was like a sophomore in college, and I was led to just like this big spiritual community on Periscope that just opened me up to like a whole world of things. And that was honestly like my catalyst moment for changing my life. And then since then, I've been just on this journey of self-development, discovering who I am, really reclaiming and owning my power of who I am. And then to like combine it all with my knowledge in marketing, because I've been working in marketing, sales, and social media for over 7 years. And it's just like transformed into this business that is helping people monetize their unique magic by using their voice, vibe, and vision. So it's really about being who you are at the core and then stripping away all of that societal conditioning, because that was a huge thing for me. That's been the biggest part of my journey, is just like releasing and letting go of all that crap that was not mine to like come back into my own power.
That is so amazing. And I'm really curious because I always love to dig in a little bit deeper. What specifically led to your spiritual awakening and what did that look like?
I feel like it was just a moment of me like not wanting to put up with my own shit anymore. Honestly.
Good
and
for
I would
you.
love to say that there like was this one big moment or big transformation, but there really wasn't. It was like layering on a bunch of knowledge just year after year. But I think it was really just me like waking up to the fact that I didn't want to live my life like that anymore. I had gone through like a really bad series of relationships, just constantly felt like I wasn't worthy of anything, couldn't be successful. And I was just like, I don't want to feel this way anymore.
And so my sense is, as we're chatting, you were very much about strategy back then, very knowledgeable, and the energy piece wasn't quite there yet until after your spiritual awakening. Am I making a correct assumption?
Yeah, I've always been very like analytical but also spiritual, but I think really leaning into and owning my spiritual energy was a big part of what needed to happen for me, because surrendering and letting go and like trusting did not come easily to me because of how I grew up, especially when it came to money. Like, I just had so many money stories, so much like energetic grossness, for lack of a better word, around money. And so it was like, there was this part of me that like knew the spirituality, that like trusted it. Like, I've always been kind of like tapped into the spiritual world, but like when it came to money and success and that sense of self-worth, that was the part that was missing for me.
And so when you went through that journey, navigated and leaned into that as your medicine, this is where to all of this alchemy was created in your business, in your life and your business.
Yeah, and it's been a continual journey. Like, it has not looked linear at all.
Heck yes, girl. Well, let's talk about that, because this is where I reached out to you, because I had been on your email list for a while. And then there was, oh gosh, was it earlier this year when you were like, fuck it. Here's the truth. I basically, it sounded like you were outgrowing your business model, or you were feeling more burnt out, and you really just wanted to just almost like go for a holiday.
Yeah, I was so burned out. So I feel like something to add to that I didn't really mention is like my business journey that I've been through is like, I started my business when I quit my job. I was like, I'm going to teach yoga and be a holistic healer and like do tarot readings. And I did that for a while. And then that transitioned into mindset coaching, because I was working with like a lot of clients as an intuitive card reader.
I had no idea about that about you.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Like, what I was really good at was like the coaching part of it, but I feel like people who come to you for tarot readings are like not ready to work on their shit. Or at least that's what I was finding. And I was like, I want to work with the people who are like ready to work on their shit, and they're not going to make excuses, and they're like going to accept it. And then I realized as I was building that coaching business, I was like really good at strategy, which makes sense because that's what my background is in.
Yeah.
And it was just like a matter of trusting myself. And then I got kind of like burned and jaded with the online spiritual community, because I'm not all love and light. I'm just not. I'm never going to be. Like, I'm very big on the idea and concept of duality and being able to like hold the more like quote unquote negative emotions with the positive. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want anything to do with the spiritual community anymore. I'm not into the idea of like, you just get to manifest and like masturbate and then make $1 million. Like, that's not, I'm all about the
what
action.
I'm hearing is you also do the shadow work with your clients, which I really believe is so deeply important.
Yes. And so anyway, that like led me into just doing strategy, because I got burned out on the spirituality. And then I was like, you know what? I don't like this. I took 6 months off, which is like that email that you're talking about, where I was like, hey guys, I'm really burned out. Here's the truth. And I took 6 months off from my business, and I literally just came back into it. And I feel like I'm not quite going like full circle, but taking all of the separate parts and all of the different journeys that I've been through and like integrating them all together into one business, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like this is why I wanted to have you on, because I really wanted real talk. As I was listening to your podcast, as well as your reading your emails, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in such a similar journey. Mine was that 2020 was an incredible year in my business. I actually outgrew my business model, but so that means I was also starting to burn out a bit. And I was like, okay, I don't actually have the time freedom that I wanted to create for myself. So, you know, I wanted to create a specific, like a higher scale business model this year, but Ascension happened. So
yes.
And so it's a beautiful thing. And it's just like you were saying, you know, it's not easy to let go. It's not easy to surrender. But when we just let go and trust, that's what this whole year is about, is that deeper sense of letting go and trusting. And I can feel you're there too, Juliana. It's like, okay, we're in our winter and we're like really realigning with our vision, recalibrating our vibes, so that when we come out with our roar, that's going to be the powerful spring or yang energy that we are right now creating internally.
Yeah, completely. Like, I did not plan to take 6 months off. It just took me that long to kind of like realign and figure out what I wanted to do. And like, quite honestly, I feel like I'm not still fully there yet, but I feel like I have enough of the vision there that I'm like ready to start taking the action again.
And I love how real you're being, because I'm exactly in the same boat as I'm really immersing myself in my own energy work and shifting my mindset to that next level version of me. And then also really being coached on what that next level looks like strategy wise as well. I feel like you and I are in the same parallel paths right now. And the other piece is, I think other people need to hear that, you know, even though we're going through this, I still see you showing up, Juliana. And that's why I say to my people, don't wait until you're totally, fully fucking ready, because we will never be ready, first of all. Take the leap. Yesterday I pulled a card from the Work Your Light Oracle, and it was leap. And it was just like, yes, a lot of people resonated with that card. And it was like, yeah, just leap. Believe in your vision and leap and still show up. And it's okay that you're still working on yourselves. Because, I mean, that's the truth of it, is we always are evolving and working on ourselves.
Yeah,
we're never done the work.
Deeper levels.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to take a break right now. And what I'd like for you, as we're on commercial here, listeners, is to really tune in to see, you know, what's really standing out for you in this conversation, reflecting on where you're at in business. And I hope that this gives you a sense of like relief to go, oh, it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to be in progress.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
My loves, you know you're here as a soul-led leader to transform this world through the sharing of your passions and gifts. You are here to be in your warrior of light and align your business with your highest self. I'm Rosalyn Fung of the show Activate Your Soulgasmic Business. Let's elevate your business to the next expansive level. I invite you to flow into a business soul alignment discovery call with me at rosalynfung.com. That's ROSALYN, fun as in have some fun, FUNG, and let's see how I can best hold space for you to align your highest self, magnetize your dream clients, and monetize on your soul mission. I can't wait to connect.
COVID-19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
Do you feel like your emotions are all over the place? That's normal during this abnormal time. There are a number of ways to cope. Maintain a healthy routine, get enough sleep, eat nutritious food, and exercise at least 30 minutes each day. Schedule some time to talk with a friend or family member. And remember, you can always take a few deep breaths to feel more centered.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
All right, welcome back, loves. So Juliana and I would love to jam a little bit deeper about the behind the scenes as she's been has gone through this transition from fuck it, I'm totally done and burnt out to where she is now. And I think I really want you to hear this, listeners, that look, here is Juliana still in progress and she's still showing up for the podcast. I think that's so incredibly powerful, and really you are standing in your power to practice what you preach. We don't have to be perfect. We're always in progress, and we're going to just show up anyway and meet you where we're at.
Yeah, totally. I really don't believe that you ever arrive. I think that it's always continued work. So to talk a little bit more about last year, right? Because 2020 was financially a really good year for me. More money than I'd ever had in my life. I ended up making over $100,000 cash, actual money in the bank for the year just in my business alone. That was not counting other income sources. And I feel like it probably externally looked to people like I was really successful and had it all together because I was showing up consistently. I had so many different clients, a lot of client wins, was selling out my programs, but I was launching things back to back and creating so many different things because I needed to keep my revenue up. I needed to keep bringing in the money. Last year, I was so focused on just reaching that 6-figure goal because internally I was if I can do this, then I can prove to myself that I can do it. And there was definitely a sense of self-worth attached to it too. So the actions that I was taking were not necessarily the most aligned for what I wanted to create long term. I feel like I built a very unstable foundation. And then looking back on it, I'm not proud of anything I created. I don't like any of my programs. I don't love the way that I was serving my clients because I had too many clients at the time. I had 7 one-on-one clients, which for me is way too many. I just don't have the capacity for that. And behind the scenes, I was exhausted. I was laying on my bed between client calls, dreading having to look over materials. I was trying to stay up to date with all my one-on-one clients. And then I had a mastermind and I had group programs and courses and just way too many moving parts. And that was when in the beginning of this year, in March of 2021, I was I need a break. And I just planned on taking the whole month of April off. And then I completely I deleted Instagram, I deleted Facebook, all social media I was off of. I deleted my business email from my app, everything, because all of my client contracts had wrapped up and I was I'm just done. I need a month to do absolutely nothing. And I was well, I'll come back in May. And then as I'm taking that break in April, I'm realizing just having this big epiphany of oh my God, everything I've been doing, I don't like. This is not my purpose. This is not my passion. I am not meant to just be doing this. But then there was that question of okay, but if not this, then what? And then that's just been the journey that I've been on for the past 6 months to arrive at this point where I feel I finally have the thing.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. And I also want to say you're not alone in that. That's the roller coaster coach, which I can certainly relate to too. If you're not launching something, then, your income is going down and it's exhausting to try to keep this up, this keep up energy. Yeah. And so as those of you who are tuning in right now, just notice if that's you too. And it's not uncommon. So there's absolutely no shame in this. I don't think we're taught properly how to build a business and foundationally that will grow. You know, I do believe in the beginning, first couple years, that's what may be supportive in your business, but then it's properly scaling it. And it's a good problem to have, right? This is how, Juliana, I feel like we're on the same path. I'm just like, yep, I can relate with that, feeling like I'm at max capacity. And for me, being a mom of 2 young boys and a wife, I just felt like I wasn't actually having the time freedom to be with my kids and be with my husband more. I was serving my clients epically, but that came at a cost. And I know that many entrepreneurs can relate with that. And that's not why we got into this, you know?
Right.
We got into it, yes, because we're passionate and we want to create impacts and we want to create income, but not at the cost of sacrificing our well-being and our loved ones, our time for ourselves.
I also feel like there's so many different ways to structure your business, but there's really just this one way of like showing up constantly that people preach. And like there's different ways to gain visibility, to, you know, generate leads, to market, to sell, that aren't just like showing up and creating a bunch of things all the time.
Agreed.
And like I think it's important to have that understanding of yourself and your energy types and like the way that you like to best operate, so that you know how to best structure your business. Because I feel like the reigning advice that's out there does not work for everyone. And then when someone gets burned out or they can't sustain this like constant showing up, constant selling, they feel like they're doing something wrong.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm really curious, can we dive deeper into some of the lessons you learned from how you were doing business before and what you would do differently? I feel like our audience would be like, okay, give me the what not to do and give me the what to do instead, how to think instead.
I think the like number one biggest lesson is follow what you're passionate about rather than what you think is going to make money. Because like, yes, you can make money selling something because you know it will sell. And that's 100% like what I did last year. But there's a difference between what you're good at and what you love doing. And that, I guess, would be lesson number 2. I don't know. I'm trying to like put them into numbers, but I'm like,
I love it. Well, actually, could we go a little bit deeper on this? So know the difference between what you're good at and what you're passionate.
yes, know that, yeah, because I work with a lot of women who are multi-talented and multi-passionate. And like, it seems like that would be a blessing, and to an extent it is, because if you like a lot of different things and are also good at a lot of different things, then you have a lot of opportunities. But at the same time, it can be really hard to pick and focus in on one thing. And if you are focused on the money, I think it gets easier to pick the things that you're good at that you know you can sell, rather than like, what is your big long-term vision and mission? Like, what lights your soul on fire? What is going to sustain you long-term? What is that legacy that you want to leave? That's a big part of why, like, helping people use the power of their vision to create money in their business is so important to me, and it's so integral to what I do now. Because I think, especially as like newer business owners, I think we have the tendency to focus on how we can make money now, what's going to sell now, but we don't think ahead to what is that like long-term legacy that we're wanting to leave? What is that vision that we have for our business overall? What is the purpose that we're here to serve and to create? And I don't think that all needs to be figured out like initially, because I am a big believer in like taking messy action and just like, doing something is better than doing nothing, because taking action will breed clarity. But if you have that vision in mind, the action that you take is going to be so much more intentional. So it's more about thinking long term rather than just short term. I think, last year I was thinking very short term. I was focused on just my money for that year, what was going to create the money for that year. But then I spent so much time and energy creating all of these things that I didn't like.
And is it that you didn't like them, or you didn't like the way and how much you had to show up for them?
I didn't like them. Like, I created programs based on what I knew people wanted rather than like what I felt a soul calling to create in the world.
Okay, so I really want our listeners to really like breathe that in. Because yes, it may be a quick cash injection, but in the long run, it may actually end up being such a huge energy suck, because it's not what you're actually passionate about.
Yeah.
It's not what lights you up. And so of course it's going to drain you. It's like, oh, you're dreading it.
Right. Like, what do you want to be known for? Not just what's going to make you money, but what do you want to be known for? Because I was super focused on helping people with strategy last year. And I kind of I became known as kind of like the content person, because teaching content strategy and, helping people with their messaging is something that I'm really good at. But when I really like took a step back and looked at that, I was like, 10 years down the line, like, is that what I want to be known for? Like, can I see myself hosting, retreats about content and messaging? Can I see myself writing a book about this? And I'm like, no, that's not my like core passion. That's not my bigger vision. My bigger vision is more about the empowerment. And like, there is a strategy piece to it, but it's the strategy to help women who are leaders and who have a message to share and who are making a massive impact on the world to get out there and to be seen and to make money in what it is that they do. But it's not about the money alone. It's also about the mission.
Yes. And that's such a foundational piece in the be, do, and have. It's like, what is your mission? Be that. Invite people to join you on your mission because they share the same mission. They share the same values. They see that this is something bigger beyond themselves that they're creating.
Yes.
And the money will follow.
It will. And that's what's going to sustain you, is that vision. It's not, if you're just chasing money, like, that will feel really good at first, but it's going to drain your energy to keep trying to do that if that's not what your soul is aligned with.
1000%. Again, love, I can totally fucking relate with this because just like you, I teach mindset. We do subconscious reprogramming. We do energy work. We do strategy. And what I really noticed in the last while with my clients is people think, they know that I'm going to do some mindset work. I'm a former registered psychologist. Of course, that never leaves. And really, entrepreneurship is a game of personal growth and development. So what I realized is, it's people say, I joined up for business coaching and I got so much more than that. I came home to myself. I unleashed something inside me that is that next level version. I've stopped hiding and playing small, and I'm playing bigger. And that didn't always mean that they were making the income yet. They might have made some income, right? I do have clients who are further in the game and can double, triple, and quadruple their income. But I'm recognizing more and more that most of the people that have coming to me in the last little while are more so for the life and soul coaching in the guise of business. And so what I realized about myself was, just like you, Juliana, like perhaps there was a part of me that was just addicted to that roller coaster launch.
Yeah.
Like let's make lots of money. Also really, really recognizing I actually really loved what I was doing. So that might be different. But what I didn't expect was just how, because my program is also very deep, how much it was more of a personal growth that catalyzed people that didn't, again, always have the monetary result.
Yeah, I think people are waking up to the fact that the mindset and energy piece needs to be there.
And trumps the strategy.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's the foundation. The way that I see it is it's like
Totally.
the mindset and the energy is the foundation that the strategy lays upon, because it's going to be really hard to execute on the strategy if you have mindset and energy blocks in the way. And I've seen this.
Yes.
Like,
or what also happens is I have people who implement the strategies, but they're not in that energy of attracting others. And when I call them out and saying, like, you're hiding behind, you're doing like high level hiding, you're just looking too perfect.
Yeah.
You know, you don't look relatable, you're not being vulnerable. And as soon as they start to do that inner work to shift and really show up more in their humanness, that's where it shifts. But sometimes, just like you and me, you know, we've implemented, and sometimes we can implement strategy, which then again is more related to the money piece if that's the focus. And then we realize, oh wait, we're in the doingness over the beingness right now. And then we burn out. So yes. The foundation always needs to be the beingness, always needs to be about mindset and energy first.
And finding that passion. I feel like there's so much clarity that comes in finding what you're passionate about, and it's going to make the strategy so much easier. And like, this is the difference that I've seen with my clients who are super successful and see massive results really quickly versus my clients who like really struggle to get their business off the ground. If that passion piece isn't there, you're not going to be motivated to show up, because you're not coming from a place of service. Like, can you build a business on strategy alone? Yes, but it's not going to be sustainable.
Agreed. Short-term success, but not for long-term.
Yeah, because they're not going to want to continue creating content. They're not going to keep wanting to grow their audience, promoting their stuff if that passion isn't behind it. Like, the people who I see who are most successful are the ones who like believe so fully in what it is that they're doing, and they're so in love with what it is that they're selling. They just want to talk about it all the time, and they're coming from a place of like service in their sales because they know what they have is going to change lives.
Exactly. Absolutely. Okay, loves, we're going to go into a break. So again, I'm going to invite you to really reflect on what part of this conversation really resonated with you. Notice how it lands within you and how you feel.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organisation, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
My name is Victor Furman. Some call me The Voice. I've always been fascinated with human nature, spirituality, science, and the crossroads at which they meet. Join me Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio, and we'll explore these topics and so much more on Destination Unlimited.
If I could be you,
and you could be me,
for just 1 hour.
if you could find a way to get inside
each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Okay, welcome back, love. So, Juliana, I'd love for you to share a little bit more about who it is that you love to work with and about your ROAR method.
Yeah, I primarily work with coaches, healers, consultants, service providers, really anyone who considers themselves to be a leader in their industry. I really like to serve the women who are here to change the world, right? Revolutionary leaders. So people who are here to make an impact and make a big difference by sharing their message with the world and helping to elevate us all up as a collective.
Beautiful. And so let us know about what ROAR stands for and the specific method you walk them through.
Yeah, so the ROAR method is all about, like I said before, using the power of your voice, vibe, and vision to get massively visible. It is the 4-step process that I walk my clients through in becoming a well-known and well-paid revolutionary leader. And there's like a letter for each phase. So the first phase is reclaim. And the reclaim phase is all about coming home to who you are. It's that deconditioning around like the mindset, the energy. So that's the phase where we dive really deep into like the subconscious reprogramming, figuring out, you know, what are their stories? What are their limiting beliefs? What is holding them back from stepping into their fullest potential? And also a big part of it, since I'm so big on people being authentic in their voice, is like, how are they censoring themselves? How are they holding themselves back from speaking and showing up in a way that is most authentic to them and their energy? And there's a lot of work that I do around the 4 elements, which is the free quiz that I have. So if you're listening and you want to take a quiz to find out what your elemental energy archetype is, I have a free quiz for that. That's really fun because I feel like it's really important for people to understand themselves on a deeper level and how they best operate as an entrepreneur. And I love working with the elements to do that because I feel like it's such an easy and natural way for people to best understand their energy flows. Because there's a lot of conditioning in the online space in general. Like how we show up, how we present ourselves, how we structure our business. And a lot of that wisdom is coming from fire types. And like, I am a fire type.
Me too.
Yeah. But like, I also have a lot of air in me though. And I also understand how to work with people who are not fire types naturally, because the whole show up, be really loud, be really bold, like that doesn't work for everyone. And it's also not meant for everyone. So that is a very fire type strategy. And I do think that like the online coaching space, the influencer space, like it's very dominated by fire types. And so I think people try to condition themselves into being that way, which is why the reclaim step is really just all about helping people like own their power, own who they are, you know that who they are at their core, the most authentic way that they show up in the world and operate and their energy flows, like that's okay for them to be themselves. So it's really all about the deconditioning.
I love that so much. Yes, because there's going to be, everybody's finding their own authentic voice and showing up in whatever bold looks like for them.
Yeah, like I think there's so many different ways that people can show up and different strengths that we all have. Like water types are big on connection and that one-on-one connection. So like my water type clients love having conversations and like love connecting with people in the DMs. Other types, we don't necessarily like that as much.
That's good to know. That's really good to know. I feel like I'm water
could,
as well.
That might be your second type. I'm fire and air. So like,
what's air then? I'm really curious.
So air is all about flexibility and freedom. And air is also like the ideation people. So like if you have all the big ideas but have a hard time taking action on them because you constantly have so many ideas and don't know what to focus on.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All my fellow ADHD friends like tend to present very much as air.
Oh, wow. So everybody go and take this quiz and figure out what you are.
Yeah. It'll tell you a lot about yourself. So that's like the reclaim step. After that is the optimize step. And the optimize step is really taking what you learned about yourself from the reclaim step and then like building your life and business around that in a way that works for you. Like, let's stop trying to fight our natural instincts, right? Like I'm all about customization when it comes to both life and business. You know, there's so many different ways to do things. And I think like it's really like a talent of mine to be able to see all the different options and help people figure out like what is the best option for them. And so that's what Optimize is all about. It's like structuring your business in a way that works for you, but also like setting up different routines and rituals in your life that are going to really help you reach your goals, reach your definition of success, feel the best in yourself, you know, come home to yourself every day in a way that works for you. So it's like keeping your core values. Yeah.
I love
keeping your core values in mind. I love it. Like, I feel like, I don't know, when I like downloaded this method, it just finally felt like the thing.
And it feels like it's a thing that's going to support people from burnout, like really prevent them from burnout.
100%, because it's all about doing things in the way that they want to do them.
It's a fit in terms of value. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the A?
The A is activate. So that's where we start to get into this strategy. It's all about activating your magnetic power. So we talk about branding and messaging. Those are the two things that I focus on primarily. We will also dive into offers, but that can kind of be done in the optimize phase as well. Because optimize is about structuring, and then activate is like, okay, once you know what you want to create and how it's best going to serve you and your unique energy and the way that you operate, we then need to like turn on that magnetic power and that activation, which strategically is, you know, messaging and branding. Those are the top two things.
I love it. Love it. And then the last letter?
Last R is radiate, which is just what it sounds like. It's all about the visibility. So how are we going to take what you've created now that you feel confident in your branding, your messaging, you know how to market yourself, you know how to market your offers and sell. How are we going to get it in front of more people?
Powerful. That is so powerful. I love your rebrand. I love the clarity that you received when you gave yourself permission to take a break. And I'm going to call that like a sacred break, so that you could really dive in deeper and ask yourself these questions to go, what is it that I want to create for myself in that my next level, in the vision that's going to sustain me? And here it is. Oh
yes. And it was also like, how am I going to combine all the things that I love into like one thing?
Right. You totally did it. I love it so much because I can hear the foundation is very much about being and values and creating rituals that are going to help you energetically sustain and build capacity so that you could, because entrepreneurship is, and I believe it's like we do need the endurance, but it comes from not your mind. It comes from ensuring we're staying aligned with our highest guidance.
Yes. And there's also ways to automate that endurance. Like for my people who want to be more hands off, which is like very much an air type thing, Like they want to live in the ideas and the strategy, and like they don't actually want to like show up all the time because they love being in their headspace. Automations are huge.
Mm-hmm. And helpful in scaling.
Yes.
And helpful,
100%.
stay in your soul and a genius and let other people help.
Yeah.
I know other people need to hear that. So, and I would say asking for help is a superpower as well. Building team, aligned members to be part of your team is deeply important. People who see your vision, who believe in your vision with you, and are here to stand for with you and beside you in your vision.
Mm-hmm. So important to build that out. And I think like knowing what you need to. Like, do
Can you say
need
more about that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think I see this a lot. I'm going to try to keep this short, but I feel like we tend to hire, you know, coaches, consultants, mentors, when maybe we actually need to hire someone to do it for us. Like we don't always need to learn all the things.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because I am definitely one of those people that just, I will delegate no problem. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
See, and I'm like, I want to learn all the things because I love learning, and I like am so multi-passionate, and like I want to know all the things.
Oh, so depends what it is. Like I'm not in with Facebook ads. Like I think it's really important to like at least know a little bit, but I leave it in the hands of the experts.
That is one thing I hate, but thankfully my biz bestie
my head hurts.
And like one of my business partners does them. So
oh my god, yeah, I'd be like, here you go, thank you.
Facebook
and
ads manager just makes my head hurt.
Like, ditto, girl, ditto. Like my eyes are crossed. I'm like, oh god, this is not my thing.
I know. I like the creative side, but not
Yeah.
the actual like ads manager part.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I just loved our conversation. And I know that there's so many golden nuggets. So those of you who are just like, I need to tune into Juliana's frequency a little bit more, do go and follow her on Instagram. Can you just share your handle and spell it out?
Yeah, it's my first name and last name, which is not always the easiest to spell. So it's Juliana Frisoli, which is JulianaFrisoli.
Beautiful. And then you can go to her link in bio to do that pop quiz.
Yeah, the quiz that'll tell you your element type. It's just my website, julianafrisoli.com/quiz.
Easy. Perfect.
Easy.
And that'll also be in the show notes. So beautiful. So I'm going to invite our audience to tune in now to drop in. We're going to close with a meditation and light language activation. So breathing in and just cleansing breath out. One more breath in, expand. Belly, heart, third eye, crown. Suspend your breath, conjure in this energy, and let go. And just regulating your breath. You are a clear channel right now for spirit, for messages, for downloads. And just really zoning in on what in this moment stood out for you in our conversation today. Don't overthink it, just notice. And whatever's popping up right now is for you to explore, to reflect on, to chew on, to immerse yourself into. Whether that's hearing about the real talk, feeling relieved, feeling hope, feeling inspired of new possibilities that you can destroy and create so that you get realigned and recalibrate. May you recalibrate to your highest calling, for your highest truth and good, to create the impacts you deeply desired in a way that brings in ease, grace, flow, in a way that allows you to get massively visible with your voice, your authentic vibes, through your vision. Notice how your body feels as you feel into the possibilities of showing up grounded in your values, attracting your soulmate clients, creating the impacts you deeply desire in a way that feels fun and flow, expansive. Breathing that in. Morakira kura tia nena kua. Merakia tira kura tia nena kura, kira kura tia nena kua. Breathing in. And out. Beautiful. So just hang out the sensations. Staying here as long as you like. Anchoring in. Thank you so much for being here with us, Juliana.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for your gifts, love, and for your vibes and your voice and sharing your vision with us.